Hi guys, I'm out here with my Brinkmann smoker. I've got my brisket and we're gonna get started on this. It's a long process, but I am gonna show you how to put the seasonings on this. I'm just using salt and pepper today. This is actually my first time, so I wanted you to do it with me because we're gonna learn together. So I've used my smoker before, but today is my first time with brisket. So we're gonna have a great time. This is a carnivore friendly recipe. You could just use salt if you want to, but just make sure you're home for a long time because you have to stay near your smoker and add wood chips and make sure your house is not burning down. So I've got mine is electric. It is plugged in the house, right in the kitchen. One thing to make sure of is that you have a good power source because I had it plugged in a different outlet before and it kept going off. So you want to make sure you've got a strong outlet for your smoker if you don't use something else, but mine is electric. All right, well, we're gonna get started. I'm so excited. I'm about to do this brisket. It is about 16 pounds and I got it at Costco. It's $3.79. It's a prime beef, so that's pretty fancy. And I'm gonna do salt and pepper. I think I'm just gonna do equal parts, and I'm going to trim off a little bit of the fat, but not too much. So this is exciting. I'm just going to trim off a little bit of the fat because that helps the seasoning get into the meat, and my husband told me to do that, but I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm going to leave a lot of it there because I don't want it to be too lean because I hate that. So on this part I'm probably not going to trim because it doesn't seem like it has that much. I just trimmed a little bit off. You can see, still got a lot. I don't want it to be too lean, so maybe that'll work. Now I'm just measuring out a half a cup of salt, and I'm gonna do a half a cup of pepper, half a cup of pepper right there. I'm just gonna mix that up with my hands, and then I'm gonna put it all over. Looks great. Just put this all over and I'm going to let it sit for about an hour while I'm getting that smoker ready outside. So just coat it all over it. Okay, so now I'm going to coat the other side, the other piece, I mean. Just trying to get it on there really thick and as much as I can and get it into all the little small parts, some creases and stuff. I'm so excited. This is a long process. Okay, so I have this one all coated up and I'm just gonna let it sit here for a little while I get ready. And plug it in. Good. And then you've got your grates. You wanna clean your grates off. This one is pretty messy, so I'm gonna scrape this one off. It rained a little bit, but I drained off the water that was in there. And I've got my wood chips, and then I'm gonna cover up my wood chips. And this is gonna keep it. You make sure you soak your wood chips first. And then you're just going to plug it in and start going. I have my brisket on the bottom. And I'm going to, this is several layers, so then I'm gonna put the top on and cover it. So see, then you're gonna put the water bowl in there. And I'll show you in a second. Now I've got my water bowl in there, and that's gonna keep it from drying out and help it make smoke. Okay, so now I've got my big piece on there, and I'm just going to start it up. So excited. Okay guys, it's getting going. I'm so excited. See the smoke? And then later on I can add more wood chips into the bottom. So this is a 3-piece, so I can take it apart and I can add more wood chips into the bottom down there. So I have been cooking this for a while. So it's been since 11 and now, or 10:30, and now it's 4:30. It's about to get dark, so it's just going to show you what I'm dealing with here. Here it goes. I think I'm just going to cook it until nighttime, till I'm about to go to bed. I'm just going to keep going. And let's see this side over here. So I think it just needs a lot more time. And if it gets too dark, I'll just finish it in the oven, I think, maybe. I mean, too late. And then I have the other one down there at the bottom. Okay, so here's the other one. It got a little burnt here on the edge, but I can cut that off, I guess. I cut a lot of the fat, but it was a little too much. And it caught on fire, but hopefully it's fine now. This one's looking like it's a lot more cooked than the other one. Maybe I should swap it around. So, guys, it is dark now, so it is a big project, and I'm hoping that it will finish up because I want to go to bed. So I will show you what's happening now with the smoker. This is what it looks like after about 12 hours. So my first brisket. Wow. It's falling apart. What do you think?
Well, you're falling apart.
Okay, so I want to tell you some things that I have learned about smoking brisket. So first thing is first, don't be intimidated. I was so intimidated to start this process that I had a smoker for weeks, and I didn't even months even, and I was just so scared that I was going to mess it up or that it was too hard. It was a big deal, and so I didn't even try. So it's super easy. Don't be intimidated. You're not going to do it perfect the first time, but it's super easy, and there's really nothing to learn that you can't just Google or find really quickly, and I hope this video is helpful with that. Another thing is to soak your wood chips. So you want to get some wood chips and soak them. This is hickory. If you don't like this flavor, you can always try a different flavor, but this is a good one to start with. I read that this one gives a good flavor. So you always want to soak them in water first. Okay, the next tip is to give yourself plenty of time. This took me 12 hours, so you can't be in a rush. This is a slow and low thing, so don't be in a rush. You need time to let your meat. Brisket is a very, very fatty meat, but also a very, very tough meat. So you have to have time to let it break itself down to get soft and tender like you want. So the next thing is, you don't need a lot of fancy spices. You just need to use salt and pepper. So I thought maybe you need all this spice blend, spice rub, all this stuff, but really that's not very carnivore compliant, and you can run into a lot of additives and preservatives and gluten, fillers, soy, just all kinds of stuff that can be in barbecue rubs. So you really want to be careful with that. So make sure, and just use salt and pepper. I used a 50/50 ratio. So that was really plenty of flavor. It tasted amazing, and meat is, you know, God's gift to us. So it doesn't need much to be perfect. Along those same lines is that you do not need fancy equipment. I bought my smoker out at a yard sale because I really didn't want to buy any fancy equipment until I learned how to do it. So it was about $20 or $30 at a yard sale, and it's a Brinkman. I'll put a link for a similar one below, but I don't know if they sell the one I have anymore, but I'll put a similar one in my description box down below. So you don't need anything expensive or fancy. You can find a smoker probably in Facebook Marketplace, so you could learn before you invest. You know, you don't want to buy something expensive and then you just never use it. So make sure that you are ready to, you know, have this as part of your lifestyle before you spend a bunch of money on it. So you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. Another tip I learned is you want to preheat your smoker. So you preheat your smoker to usually about 225 before you put your meat in, and that will help with the results at the end. Okay, smoked meat, is brisket, usually gets to be about 185 before you start thinking about taking it off. I really don't use a thermometer. I just like to touch, and when it gets pretty tender, that's probably good. In this case, I just stopped it when I wanted to go to bed and not go outside anymore, and it actually was perfect. So that is a good thing. Another thing I learned is keep it away. I kind of got it too close to the fire at the bottom, so and the fat will drip a lot. So make sure you have a good distance, because it's not like barbecue. You don't want it near the fire. That's not the point. So you don't want it to drip too much, and then we'll start a fire, and then that will mess up your outside coating. You don't want it to be burned, even though it is going to have a smoky flavor and it may look burned, but it shouldn't actually be on fire. Last thing is you want to let it rest. So when you take it off, you can wrap it up in butcher paper, and then you can even put a towel or put aluminum foil over that and just let it rest for at least an hour, I read, just to let the juices absorb back in, and it helps with the tenderness. So anyway, I hope this has been really helpful and that you're not afraid to try brisket, and you just give it a chance, because it's a super tasty, super affordable meat that you will love. So if you like my approach to relaxed carnivore living, you'll probably love my carnivore ebook. So I'll put a picture of it right here. It's 182 pages of everything I learned in the first 16 months of doing carnivore, and all the pros and cons and common mistakes. So I really hope that you get it and learn with me and do it with me. It has been the best thing I've done for my health so far. I lost weight, I got my thyroid better, I lowered my medication, and I helped my digestive issues resolve. So it's been pretty amazing. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Please like this video, share, and subscribe. We need to get the word out about carnivore and this unconventional way of living and healing. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.